Hey there, ladies. Have you ever been magnetically pulled towards a certain type of guy, thinking he's the dream, only to wake up later to the reality that he was more of a nightmare? You know, dating is a roller coaster full of highs, lows, and unexpected loops. While there's no guaranteed map of finding the perfect partner, there are definitely some recognizable detours that might save you some emotional energy. From my vantage point as a guy surrounded by a myriad of male personalities, I've observed some consistent patterns that can save you some heartaches. And in this video, I'm going to talk about 9 types of men that you might want to think twice about as you chart your course in the dating world. Before we get started, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos we upload. So, let's get started from number 1. The charmer with a vanishing act. Ladies, let me give you the lowdown on this particular breed of man. He swoops into your life, painting a picture of romance that seems like a Hollywood movie. He's the kind of guy who, at first, seems like he's been sent straight from the heavens. With every unexpected bouquet of flowers, endearing late-night chat, or spontaneous date idea, you're convinced that he's genuinely invested. You start thinking, maybe, just maybe, he's different. But here's the hard truth. For this type of man, their masterstroke lies in creating a smokescreen of affection with the sole purpose of wooing you into a space of vulnerability, intimacy, and sex. And why does he pull off this act so flawlessly? Because he has no intention of being a mainstay in your life. His mission revolves around the thrill of the chase and the conquest, not the beauty of a lasting connection. I've seen it far too often, and it's heartbreaking every single time. These type of men, with their spellbinding charm, aren't playing for keeps. They're in it for the short, intense bursts of passion, only to vanish before things get real or require commitment. Remember, if he does the disappearing act once, it's a pattern, not an exception. And you deserve more than just a fleeting illusion of love, so don't ever date this type of man. Number 2. The dream seller. Ever met someone whose words painted a rosy picture of the future, but the canvas of reality was starkly blank? That's our next guy, the dream seller. He's the master of grand plans, weaving tales of romantic getaways, elaborate weddings, idyllic homes, and a family filled with joy. He'll make you dream about the brightest of futures, where every day feels like a fairy tale. Yet, when it's time to act on those dreams, he's suddenly absent or has an excuse at the ready. Conversations about those plans? They vanish into thin air as if they've never occurred. It's a constant cycle of hopes raised sky high, only to come crashing down. Many ladies stick around with this kind of man because the dreams he sells are tempting. They sound just like what we've always wanted. But remember, dreams without action are merely fantasies, and who wants to live their life chasing after fantasies? Now, don't get me wrong, it's not that dreaming big is bad, but when the dreams consistently lack substance and action, it's time to question if this dream seller is worth the emotional investment. So avoid dating these types of men too. Number 3. The mommy's man. Now, there's nothing wrong with a man having a close relationship with his mother. After all, a lot of us appreciate a guy who respects and loves the women in his life. But when his mom is the benchmark for everything, that's a different story, ladies. Well, here's the catch. He's not just looking for a partner, he's on a quest to find someone who'd seamlessly slip into the shoes of his mom that has left him empty in his adult life. Meaning he wants you to play house just like she did. Cooking, cleaning, pampering him, the whole 9 yards. But you're not looking to be anyone's mother, you're looking for a partner, an equal. This isn't about disrespecting the bond between him and his mother, it's about knowing where to draw the line between a sweet mother-son bond and a stifling relationship dynamic that can leave you feeling like a third wheel. So avoid this one also. Number 4. Mr. Stuck on his ex. Ladies, ever found yourself on what feels like a date with a man and his memories? Well, these kind of men are Mr. Stuck on his ex, also known as the rebounder. Imagine this, you're getting to know him, perhaps sharing some laughs, and suddenly there's a reminiscent gleam in his eyes as he starts yet another story featuring, yep, his ex. You might be enthusiastic about planning a weekend getaway only to hear, "Oh, Jenny and I used to love that place." Or he might subtly mention how his ex cooked a particular dish or loved a certain song. It's exhausting, isn't it? This isn't just about his inability to move on, it's a signal that he might not yet be ready to fully invest in a new relationship. If you're keen on creating fresh, beautiful memories with someone, Mr. Stuck on his ex might not be the partner you're seeking. Everyone deserves to be someone's main focus, not a side note in their continuing love story with the past. Number 5. The Time Loop Lover. Now, most of you ladies would agree that age is just a number. Well, while that might be true, maturity isn't always tagged along with the rising number of candles on one's birthday cake. Let me introduce you to Mr. Forever Young, also notoriously known as the immature guy. You've seen him, right? The guy who, despite leaving college years ago, still behaves as if he's in the middle of spring break. Now, everyone loves a good laugh and a trip down memory lane, but when it feels like he's stuck in a time loop of his glory days, it can be a real drag. If you're gearing up for substantial milestones in your life, like advancing in your career, settling down, or even starting a family, you need a partner who's on the same page, not someone who's flipping back to the prologue. It might be time to ask yourself if Mr. Forever Young can be the mature partner you need in the long run, and if he's not that mature, then you need to move on. Number 6. The string puller. We all appreciate someone who takes charge when the situation calls for it, someone who can lead and make decisions. It's comforting and can be a beacon in the midst of chaos. But what happens when that leadership turns into domination? This type of men I called are the over-dominator, or the string puller. Unlike the genuine leader, he doesn't just want to navigate the journey, he wants to dictate every twist, turn, and stop along the way. Instead of trusting you to make choices or respecting your autonomy, he wants to pull the strings of your life as if you were merely a marionette in his play. Remember, every relationship is a dance, and it requires two equal partners moving in sync and respecting each other's space. But with Mr. Puppeteer, it's more of a solo performance with you as the backdrop. The moment you feel trapped or like you're losing yourself in the relationship, it might be time to cut those strings and go with your own rhythm. Number 7. Mr. Never Tied Down. This is the type of man who walks through life with a swagger that catches everyone's attention. Mr. Never Tied Down. Or, as most know him, the Eternal Bachelor. On paper, this man is a dream. Successful, charismatic, and seemingly ready for the next chapter in his life. You might be tempted to think, perhaps I'm the one to finally get him to settle down. But here's the reality check. This man has turned the Bachelor game into an art. He's got his lines perfected. I haven't met the right one yet, or I'm waiting for someone special. And while he says this, he might be looking right into your eyes, making you believe that you could be that someone special. It's a trap. Now, there's nothing wrong with enjoying singlehood and freedom, but if you're looking for a commitment and genuine partnership, you might want to think twice before getting enchanted by the charm of Mr. Never Tied Down. Because at the end of the day, he's more committed to his bachelorhood than he might ever be to any relationship. Number 8. The Mr. Treat Me Right with Your Wallet guy. Now, this might sound a bit unconventional, especially since we often hear about gold diggers in the context of women, but the world isn't short of men who fall into this bracket too. You know, it's absolutely okay for someone to go through rough patches in life. We all have, and during these times, if you find yourself wanting to support your partner, that's commendable. However, there's a stark difference between a man who's temporarily down on his luck and one who's perpetually waiting for someone else to foot his bills. If you ever find yourself constantly reaching for your purse, paying for every date, or funding his latest business venture, it's time to ask, is he with me or my wallet? True love isn't about what's in your bank account, and if Mr. Treat Me Right with Your Wallet can't see beyond that, he's not worth your time or money. Number 9. The Me, Myself, and I man. This type of man is unfortunately too common in today's age. On the surface, he might come across as someone who's super confident, well put together, and charming, and honestly, who doesn't like a confident man? But there's a thin line between confidence and overbearing narcissism. Being with this type is exhausting. It's like dating a mirror because all he sees and wants to talk about is himself, and God forbid you try to provide some constructive criticism. Any attempt to point out a flaw or disagreement is met with hostility or worse, an attempt to alienate you from your loved ones. He wants your world to revolve around him. But remember, relationships are partnerships, not dictatorships. It's essential to feel valued and listened to, not just be a mere spectator in the grand show of his life. And that, ladies, are the 9 types of men you don't date. Remember, the best relationship you can have is one that encourages growth, mutual respect, and true partnership. Don't settle for anything less than what you deserve. Until next time, stay strong, and may your dating adventures be filled with genuine connection and joy.